All right, so I want to welcome us to this series that we have been on for some time. Okay, understanding data analysis in research is a prerequisite class for our upcoming data analysis training that is starting next 2 weeks or a week now. Okay, and we have our first lecture. This should be our last class, and I believe that everybody have gone through the class we held, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. So this will be the final session for it. And I will not be repeating myself for some of the things I taught us in the last class. Okay, we need to pay the sacrifice to learn the skill that we need for the future. We need to pay the sacrifice to do that. Okay, this class ought to come up on Sunday. I was extremely busy over the weekend. I could not hold the class. Yesterday I was busy. Even today, all right, I just have to summon myself that this class must hold. That's just to tell you that it's not convenient on my flesh, but I'm committed to this training. That's why the training is taking place. Okay, so I do not want anybody to take it for granted. Okay, the Zoom class of the training has been posted, the recording will be posted. Okay, my commitment to a paid class is different from a free class, but I try as much as possible that the difference is not that much. Okay, in a paid class, I do more practical with my students. Okay, so but anyway, let's start tonight's class. Tonight's class will not be long. It's just some practical explanations, some data analysis techniques that we need to understand. Okay, so I will share my screen now. Okay, as we start, let me just share my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. All right, so understanding data analysis in research series. Now look at the topic, understanding data analysis in research, not just any data analysis. I've been telling people for more than 5 years, 6 years now, data analysis is divided into two. We have the one for organizations, we have the one for research. What separates the two are softwares and what they use those softwares to do. Okay, so if someone says I want to learn this analysis, the question is what or which type of data analysis do you want to learn? What type? Okay, so this training is data analysis in the research world. Okay, and we have different softwares for that. One of the most software for data analysis in the research world is SPSS. Another one is Stata. Stata class will be coming up in the diploma course that will start in June or July. Okay, for data analysis. SPSS is most used. We have Stata, we have eView. Economic students use eView the most. We have R. R is like advanced software. Only few people use R in the world of research, but it's also the software that we use. Okay, in the research world. Now, in the organizational world, they use Excel. Excel also is being used in the research world. Okay, but it's not as important as SPSS. But in the organizational setting, if you want to work in organization, Excel is the first software you have to learn. In fact, my Excel training is going to come up in June. It's going to come up in June. Excel for data analysis. So if you want to work for organizations, Excel is one of the first software you have to master. If you want to work in the research world, SPSS is the first software. You can see the difference now. Okay? So in the organizational setting, you have Excel, you have Power BI, SQL, Tableau, and some other softwares. All right. But this training is particularly towards research, data analysis research. And there's so many things that surround this data analysis. I've explained something to us in the first class we held. Okay, now other things surround it. It's not just you jump into analysis and just start analyzing. No. There's a lot of technical things you have to understand and you have to know. I've explained some of them in the first class. Now, in this class we are going to have today, we are going to look at different techniques of data analysis we have. And how do you know when to use them? You understand? How do you know when to use them? Because I have people coming to me and say, please, I want to use this technique. Now, I will tell you, this technique cannot work for this work that you are doing. You understand? It cannot work. But it takes somebody that is experienced in the world of data analysis to know that this objective, this technique cannot analyze this objective or this hypothesis. It is when people are now publishing their work, that's when they will not know that, wow, you mean everything I've done so far in my master's is rubbish. They will rubbish everything at the publishing stage. You understand? Even if your supervisor approves it, by the time you want to publish it, you will know that you've done something that is wrong. You now have to go over a lot of things again and pay another money. You understand? That's why the understanding, the knowledge is very, very pivotal. And I've met a lot of supervisors that they just tell you, go and use this, go and use. They don't understand the concept behind it, behind those techniques. They don't know the concept behind those techniques. We have a lot of data analysis techniques. We have chi-square, we have correlation, we have regression, we have ANOVA, we have t-tests, we have variance analysis. You know, there are MANOVA. I mean, there are many, discriminant analysis. All right. So there's a lot of things that surround those techniques that you have to understand. All right. Before choosing, I want to use chi-square here. I want to use descriptive analysis here. I want to use correlation here. I hope you are following me. Good. All right. So let's just quickly look at some of these techniques and then we round up this series. Okay. And then the paid session class starts a week or 2 weeks time. Okay, let's come in. Now, the first thing to look at is the purpose. Now, when you pick an objective of the work, first thing to look at, what's the purpose behind this objective? All right, is it comparison? Is it relationship? Those are the two major parts that objective follows, comparison or relationship. Are you following me? Comparison or relationship. So are you comparing data together or we are finding out relationship? Now, what is comparison? Comparison is when you want to compare the score of male against the score of female. I hope you are getting me. Or you are in a medical setting, you are carrying out experiment, you have, how will I call it now? They usually call it a name, a terminology, a control data, control experiment. And then you now have experiment 1 to 3. So we are now looking at the comparison between the first experiment against the control experiment, the second experiment against the control experiment, the third experiment against the control experiment. In fact, there is one analysis that we did recently. I think I'm using that work as one of the examples when I'm doing my PET class, just for you to understand this comparison analysis. I hope you are getting me. So the first thing you need to understand when you are trying to analyze any data, or if you are not analyzing but you are not setting the objective, this training is not just for data analysts. It's not for only data analysts. Okay? It's also for researcher. I tell people you can't be a complete researcher if you don't understand data analysis. I hope you are following me. Because you are not setting the objective, you are not setting the goal. You are not writing the hypothesis. Analysts will just analyze what you've written down in your chapter 1 or what you want to publish. I hope you are following me. So you are not setting everything. So if you understand this thing, you will know how to put things together when you are writing. Before you now go out go and meet the analyst, or you yourself start analyzing. So if you know you want to do comparison, there's a way you formulate your objective towards that aspect. You understand? If you want to do relationship, that's another thing. So when you write objective that states to examine the effect of something against something, that's relationship. All right? Effect of COVID-19 on the economy of Nigerian citizen. That is relationship. We are looking at effect, how one variable affects the other variable. I hope you are getting me. Comparison is you are comparing two things together to look at their differences. Okay? And when you are doing comparison, there is a technique we use for that. When you are doing relationship, there are techniques we use for that. But people mix these things up. And there's a problem in the data analysis world. All right? When a student, a PhD student for cry out loud, write objective that deal with comparison and is speaking, and he or she is speaking a data analysis technique that deal with relationship, and say, please help me use regression to analyze this objective that looks like a comparison objective. I mean, how does that relate? And some of them will be standing on their ground. This is what I want. I just dealt with one recently. All right. I can't just show you our chat. That was arguing with me. You understand? So you should know the first thing is the purpose. Most people that use comparison in their research, most of them are medical people that carry out experiment. All right, control, baseline, and some other things. So another one you have to learn is type of data you are collecting. We have categorical, we have continuous. Okay, you know, I think in the first class, I talked to us about quantitative and qualitative research, and then quantitative and qualitative analysis. All right, I think I talked to us about that. Okay, now type of data, categorical data, continuous data. Now, if you understand this type of data, it will help you to formulate your questionnaire, help you to formulate your objective, help you to formulate your hypothesis, and help you to pick the right data analysis technique for your research. I hope I'm communicating. I told you this class is going to be powerful. All right, let's continue. Comparison. Is there a difference? Is there a difference between the score of the female student and the score of the male student? Is there a difference? All right, that's comparison. If you are looking at a difference between two individuals, two groups. So if your world deal with differences between this and this, then you should know the data analysis technique that goes in line with that. Now, you can have objective that follow these two purposes. You can have objective that do a comparison and objective that do a relationship in the same research. I'm not saying you can't have that, but you just must know the data analysis technique you need to attach to them. Am I making sense? So, relationship, is there a connection? Is there a connection? You know, I've told us in the past, there's something called dependent variable and independent variable. I do that training. It's part of my training under research. And I think it's part of the training under data analysis class. Independent and dependent. That those two variables comes in under relationship. You see, dependent and independent does not concern for comparison. No. All right, it does not concern comparison. But if you want to deal with relationship, then you have to know dependent and independent variable. I hope I'm making sense. Okay. Relationship. What is the equation relating height and flexibility? Can age predict muscle mass? Is medication dosage linked to recovery time? That's relationship. Is age affecting productivity of farmers? All right. Does how many staff that the company has hired, does it affect their profit level in 2025? I hope I'm making sense. Relationship. Is there a connection? So once you have objective, you have hypothesis, you have a goal. Now, this knowledge is not only for research. If you're a data analyst, the same knowledge you can apply for organizations. I work for organizations. Are you following me? It's the same knowledge. When an organization says that, please, can you help me? I want to find out if there's a correlation between how many staff I have and me meeting the goals of my company or the profit level of my company. They are looking for relationship. All right? The time that staff comes to work and the time they leave work, does it affect the productivity of the company? The educational background or the educational level of the staff, does it affect their work rate? Does it affect their productivity? Those are relationships. You understand? If you have a business, relationship matters a lot for you to know what is going on in your business. So relationship. So check those out when you are doing your research. Relationship. Now, comparison. If you know very well, we are doing a comparison and what relationship? Relationship, comparison. Female versus male. First control group and third treatment groups. Grouping by color preference, yellow, red, blue. Comparison. You are comparing things together. That's comparison. I think I've explained that already. All right, let's move on. The next one is what? Categorical and cultural. You know, two things you have to understand: the purpose and the type of data. Can you remember? The purpose and the type of data. Okay, so we've dealt with the purpose now. Sorry, okay, we've dealt with the purpose now. So we are now looking at the types of data, categorical and continual. And I've informed us, if you master these things, they are the baseline for you understanding data analysis in the research world. The baseline. So that you don't make mistake. You see, this software you are talking about that you want to learn, you want to master, you want to go through the training, is garbage in, garbage out. Anything you put inside it, it's going to analyze for you and give you your results. I'm telling you. Anything you put inside it, it will analyze it and give you the results. Anything you put, it will analyze and give you the results. So there's nothing like, I got a result, so I'm right. No, you can be wrong by 100%. Because anything you put inside, you have a result for it. So you are not that must understand what you are putting inside. Are you following me? That's the way all the softwares are designed. If you get it wrong, it will still give you your results. So categorical and continuous. So categorical has qualitative characteristics, while continuous have quantitative or numerical characteristics. And I think I've explained this in the last class. Please give me like a few seconds. I'm trying to answer this question. Sorry. All right. So categorical. I mean, is there for the explanation? Okay. Let's go for that. Categorical, qualitative. Political party, did your memory improve answer yes or no. Which gene was expressed? Now, categorical variables are variable that has options. Let me just put it that way for us so that I can quickly grab it. A variable that has options. Categorical. Am I making sense? Categorical. Variables that has options. Questions that has options. Political parties, that's options. You know how many political parties we have in your country. So the respondent can pick any of them. If I say respondents, I mean people that are filling your questionnaires, people that are part of the survey. You can pick any. You understand? Did your memory improve? And the answer is yes or no. That's categorical. We have options. Which gene was expressed? We have options. You understand? So any variable that has options is a categorical variable and it's qualitative. Am I making sense? So you have to understand categorical. The second thing you have to understand, well, you might not understand why we are doing this now, but by the time we get to data analysis techniques that I said I will introduce to us, you know why you have to know all these things. Okay. Continuous. Continuous data are data that they are not options. They are not options. Heart rates. No, your heart rate is heart rate. There's no options there. Age. Your age is your age. And it increases. Continuous. It increases. Heart rate, it continues. Only if person dies. Number of bacterial colonies, it increases. Continue. Continuous data. Continuous data and numerical data. If you look at all these things, they are numbers. Now, let me give you an example. Do you know in a questionnaire, we have what we call closed-ended questionnaire and open-ended questionnaires. Hope you know. Okay? Anyway, it's part of my pay class. But we have two types of questionnaires, closed and open. Closed-ended questionnaires are questionnaires that ask options. They are questions with options. A, B, C, D. So why it asks options, they're closed-ended. Open-ended questions or questionnaires are the ones that ask dash in front. There's no option. They just write the question and put dash. The respondent, we have to write it out, not ticking. Write it out. Those are open-ended questions. Now, continuous variable are open-ended questions that the answers are numerical. The answers are in numbers. When you say open-ended question, they can say, what is your name? And then you write your name there. No, that answer is not numerical. It's sentence. But when they say, what is your age? You write 15. You write 39. That answer is what? Is numerical. Am I making sense? So those particular questions that the answers are numerical and they are open-ended, they are continuous variables. So now, to put things in order so that you're not destabilized, you understand, I want you to grab it. Let's look at age as an example. I can put age in my questionnaire and say age less than 20, option A, 20 to 25, option B, 26 to 30, option C, 31 to 35, option. I can do that. Once I'm doing that for age, those are options A, B, C, D. That is categorical. I've categorically categorized age. If there's English like that, I've categorically categorized age. Okay. Now, the same age in another questionnaire can be continuous. When you put age and put dash and go to the next question and say sex and put male or female. So when the respondent basically filling the questionnaire, when it says age, the person is not ticking like the first, like the other questionnaire. This questionnaire is dash. The person will now write 42. That particular age variable in that questionnaire is continuous. So you can see that age can be both continuous and categorical, depending on you that you are formulating the questionnaire. That's why I said Having this knowledge will help you to strategize or how you want to formulate your questionnaire. Let me tell you something. If you know that you want to use correlation analysis, you want to use regression analysis, those two analyses, you want to use them, make sure they are your age. They are in continuous variable in your questionnaire. Don't put them in categorical. Am I making sense? Don't put them in categorical. Make sure you continue. Don't put options under your age. If are not just age, any variable that is numerical, age is numerical, income is numerical, revenue is numerical. You know, those are numbers. Okay. Household size is numerical. What I say? If you are measuring height, length, in your questionnaire, if you're having that in your questionnaire, they are numerical. Put dash there. If you are dealing with farmers, farming questionnaire, and they are looking at number of chicken, those are numerical. Put dash. Don't make them option. Don't say less than 20 chicken, less than 30 chicken, and no, don't do that. Once they are numerical, once you look at that question, this question is numerical. It's numbers. The answer will be in numbers. Just put dash. Let the person that wants to answer the question write it out himself. That's continuous. Okay. All right, so let's look at this. This is a broad view of everything. Purpose, comparison, relationship, type of data, categorical, continuous. But look at it. You have chi-square family. All right, look at it. Chi-square family. Chi-square family. When you want to use chi-square, now we've dealt with all these important stuff I say we need to deal with. The beginner class, we've dealt with it. Now we are looking at the technique itself. I think I'm going to look at just 3 in this training, just 3 of them. So you understand to use 3 of them. Chi-square family. If you want to use chi-square, the variables in your questionnaire or the variables in that particular objective that you want to use or hypothesis must be comparison and categorical. Somebody's confused. I can see it. I can see somebody's confused. Okay. All right. Let me start with this. I don't have any work I want to show tonight. Okay. There is a technique called descriptive analysis technique. I talked about it. I spoke about it in the last class. Descriptive analysis technique. Let me tell you something. You cannot go through or do analysis for any research work without descriptive. Descriptive is when you have frequency and percentage and you have all this graph. Those are descriptive. You understand? You cannot do data analysis for any research and not do descriptive. At least for the socioeconomic characteristics, or let me say the demographic of the data. You have to do descriptive. Now, another objective you descriptive for a single variable objective. Now, we have 2 types of objectives. Well, I'm moving to the paid class now because I do this in my paid class. Okay. Well, okay, let me explain. We have 2 types of objectives. We have single variable objective, and we have more than 1 variable objective. Okay. Now, single variable objective like to examine the perception level of a respondent on so. To analyze the knowledge of this. That's just one objective. To determine the consequences or determine the factors affecting, those are just one variable objective. What's the variable? Factors affecting. What's the variable? Knowledge level. What's the variable? The awareness. It's just one singular variable objective. you use descriptive for them. I'm trying to break it down so that you understand this thing. Descriptive for them. Now, this I told us we have two types. The second type is when you have more than one variable. So that's when you now have dependent and independent variable. So you now have to examine the effect of COVID-19 on the Nigeria economy. Those are two variables. Effect of COVID-19 is a variable on the Nigeria economy, another variable. To analyze the differences between male and female of Part 5 students in nursing department in social university. Two variables. Part 5 students and what? Let's say Part 1 and Part 4 students of nursing department. Or Part 5 students of this university and that university. Two variables. Am I making sense? So you can see that we have more than one variable than like the last one. So when you have two variables in an objective, you are not dealing with descriptive analysis. You are dealing with inferential statistics. I told us in the last class, we have two types, inferential and descriptive. Inferential statistics are two variables or more than one variable's objective. So inferential statistics is when you have chi-square, ANOVA, correlations, all those analysis techniques are inferential statistics. Okay. In fact, inferential statistics is divided into two, parametric and non parametric. How do you know parametric and non parametric? You do what we call normality tests. That's another level. Okay, that is part of the pay class. Let's leave that one. Leave that one. Okay, so for now, let's just look at inferential statistics. So inferential statistics, we have two variables. So chi-square, ANOVA, those are variables those are data analysis techniques that have two variables. So now look at it now. I'm trying to explain chi-square to us. Two variables, I told you two variables, at minimum of two variables. So chi-square, one variable must have comparison, one variable must be categorical. That's a mistake. Sorry, that's a mistake. I've not gotten that level here for chi-square. Okay, let me just give you the understanding of chi-square straight. Chi-square deal with comparison. I think that's where we are. That's what we have here. Purpose. Sorry, but we got what I just explained so far. Good. We still get to that level. Okay. So for chi-square, the purpose is comparison. For chi-square, when you want to deal with chi-square, make sure you are dealing with comparison differences. So when you have statement like this to determine the association between, to determine the significant difference between, those are chi-square kind of statements. Am I making sense? Those are chi-square kind of statements. You don't say to determine the differences between this and this, and you are using ANOVA. Or you are using correlation. You are dealing with comparison chi-square kind of statement. Now, when you know this chi-square you want to use, the next thing is that the data that you must be used must be categorical. You don't use continuous for chi-square. So if you know you want to use chi-square for your work, then formulate your questionnaire in a way that it will be categorical. All the variables that you want to use for the chi-square analysis, put it in a categorical form. It has to be in categorical. That's the type of data for chi-square. The purpose is comparison. The type of data is categorical. Let's go further. Purpose for t-test, comparison, and also category. Am I making sense? Aha. So you can see that we have more than one technique for comparison, just like we have more than one technique for relationship. Yes. The question is now when to use them. We will do that at the paid class. Do that at the paid class. Okay, well, let me just give us an hint. When you have examine the differences between this variable and that variable, you can just see what to use chi-square for it. But when you say compare the means differences, or just compare the means between the variable and that variable, can you t-test? Anyway, you say compare means, it's t-test. It's t-test straight. T-test straight. Okay? And the type of data must be categorical, not continuous. Categorical. First. Categorical. First. Okay? Categorical first. The second thing is that it's continuous. First thing, purpose comparison. Second, categorical first. After, continuous. So the two data we have under t-test, one of them must be categorical, one of them must be continuous for you to use a t-test family. For chi-square, the two must be categorical. The two variables must be categorical. Correlation family. Purpose is relationship. Purpose is relationship. Type of data is continuous. The two variable must be continuous under correlation. You know, I told us we have two variables, minimum of two variables must be continuous. So when you are doing a relationship for any objective or hypothesis, you are doing a correlation family or regression family. Okay, I'm not doing regression. Regression analysis is very broad. I'm not doing that here. At least I'm just telling us. Then the two variables must be continuous. Must be continuous. That's why I told us that time that when you're formulating your questionnaire, you're trying to collect your data, and you are planning to use correlation, make sure the data you are collecting, or you design the questionnaire in a way that it will be continuous. Am I making sense? To be continuous? You know, a lot of people want to use, you want to use regression analysis or correlation analysis. We are looking at religion, educational level to do correlation or regression. It does not work. Because those two variables are not continuous, they are categorical. You don't use categorical data for correlation or regression. I've done it for people myself. I've done it for a lot of people. Because that's what they say I should do. And so they asked me to use so for my regression analysis and my correlation analysis. Okay, I'll use it. No, I told you data analysis techniques, softwares is what you put in that is going to give you. If you put it there, it's going to do it for you and analyze it for you. Because the people that understand data analysis know that this is wrong. You can't be putting categorical data for correlation or for regression. It's not nice. If you're a research person, it does not look good on you that you are good. Okay. But if that's what they say you should use, you have to go with the supervisor or with your clients. Customers knows best. You understand? I tell them, but don't come back to me. If you come back to me, I will collect another money from your hand. I will give you my best advice. Of course, I will collect good money from your hand because I will still give you my best advice. These analysis techniques cannot work. This is what we should use. Based on the questionnaire you designed and your topic and everything, looking at it, this is your best technique. Of course, people pay me for my expertise. But some of them will still because they will still come back. My supervisor said this. There was a day that I changed it for somebody. I changed it for him. And he went to meet supervisor. Supervisor said, go and call your analyst. So I went with him to go and meet the man. The man looked at me and said, why would you say this cannot work? And I sat, the guy was standing. Myself and the supervisor sat like this. And we talked for like 5 minutes. And he said, wow, you are good. And I told the guy, he said, he's right. That's what you should use. Same time, do it for him. Myself and the supervisor, we are close. Since that time. Because I understand what I know. You can't come and bamboozle me. After many years, close to 9 or 10 years, in the world of research and data analysis. You now be telling me that I don't know what I know. So correlation, I think we are going to end there. We are going to end there. So I will post the registration details for the upcoming paid class now. I'll post it now. Just give me like till 10 to be posted before 10. The registration, the paid, and the costs, the accounts, and everything. If you've done my data analysis class before in the past, because this new class is going to be very thorough. There will be a new development towards it. Some of the things, the world is changing. There are a lot of things I will add to it. Okay. I want to partake in this new set that is coming up. Okay. I will give you a discount. But you must have done my data analysis training in the past, at least 2 years. If it's more than 2 years, you have to pay the full money. But if it's 2 years, last year and upper year, then you are free to pay the discount fee for the upcoming data analysis. Okay, you are free. And if you want to send it to people that you know, send it to them. Because I think this is the last time I'm going to do this kind of, it's cheap. It's actually cheap. Okay, all right. Any question from us, please? Questions? I hope I did not bore us. Questions? Let me stop sharing. Okay, so if you have paid, of course you are free. If you are free, the softwares and some other things will be attempted. We'll do that together soon. I think one person have actually installed the software so far. So the software is free, is version 27. Of course, not all softwares, not all system can accommodate it. If your system cannot accommodate it, then I will give you version 20. I'm telling you, it's still good. I use version 20 for as long as I don't know. So version 20 should work on your system if version 27 cannot work. If you have paid, you don't have any issue. It's just for you to be installed. Please, sir, for the upcoming class, okay, let me just. Can you also send this recording as you do this? Okay, I will do that. I will send it. Please, sir, for the upcoming class, will it also be a combination of research methodology and data analysis? Just it will be a combination of both, actually, because I cannot really take I cannot really take data analysis taking without methodology. But it's not the whole methodology, it's just the data analysis techniques part of the methodology, not the whole, you understand? It's the research training that is coming up, because those two training are coming up. The research is coming up, and data analysis is coming up. Now, there's a new modification I'm doing on the research to make research very easy for people. All right, the two trainings are coming up, and there are modifications on the two trainings. You understand? Like the research now, there's a new method of writing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, a new method of doing writing and publishing of journals, how to use AI. You understand? There are new methods to it that I want to take in this training. Okay, so the research methodology is part of the research class. But the data analysis techniques of research methodology is part of data analysis class. I don't know if you get what I just said there. Okay, let me just go up. Yeah, the recording will be sent, not to your mail, it will be sent to. Oh, this is your first time of joining. Okay, so I hope you've seen the previous recordings. Please, how much did you pay? So the stuff we posted on the page, it will be posted on the page so that everybody can see the training fee. So, and then I will try and help us. Somebody have telling me up that he or she cannot pay the full money. So I will try and make sure that at least, let's say the first payment will be like 60%, and then within 3 weeks or before the end of the class, we need to balance up. But at least minimum should be the 60% of the training fee. I think that should help people to participate. I hope you are getting me. Okay, so in case you don't have the full money, pay the 60% first. Okay, I can't help you more than that. All right, when I did the training myself, actually, funniest thing, I think that was around 9 years ago. It was my mom that paid for me. I just went home that day. I said, I want to do this thing. She said, how much? I think I paid. That was 2010. Was it 2010? Can't remember very well. I think I paid 5K for it then. Yes, I think so. I know 5K is like 100K now. 5K there can do a lot of things. A lot of things then. So, all right. If there are no questions again, you can just chat me up. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So the training, the recording will be sent to the page. I don't know if it's tonight or tomorrow morning will be sent. The training details will be sent to the page and every other thing. All right. For any questions, you can chat me up. Thank you, everybody. See us in the next free. Now, let me announce the next free training that will be coming up is the use of AI. All right, AI in research is the next free training that will be coming up. Of course, it will be an introduction class because I will take the full course of AI in research in the diploma course that will be starting in June or July for research. 2 diploma courses will start, one in June for data analysis, another one, I'm not sure if it's June or July, I'm not yet sure, but the diploma course in research will start, diploma course in data analysis will start. Okay, of course, it will reduce for people that have done this. If you are doing this and you want to participate in diploma course, you're going to have a discount, a very serious discount. You understand? Thank you. Good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the class.